Continue MyFitnessPal terms of services. Number 2, ownership and use of content. Content is all content and materials created and made available through the services, including without limitation, images, designs, graphics, text, information, data, nutritional information, lists, receipts, recipes, and meal plans, software, scripts, and other files, and their selection and arrangement. User-generated content means any content that you or another user make available in connection with services, whether privately or publicly posted. MyFitnessPal content means all content that is not user-generated content. MyFitnessPal content and all copyright, trademark, design rights, and patents and intellectual property rights registered on unregistered therein and in the services sole priority of MyFitnessPal and or its licensors. Any unauthorized use of any trademarks, trade dress, copyright materials, or any other intellectual property rights or goodwill belonging to MyFitnessPal or its licensors is prohibited. I have no idea what that means, but except as otherwise specific herein, no license express, implied, are granted by MyFitnessPal or you under patent, copyright, trademark, trade secret, or other intellectual property right to MyFitnessPal, such as rights are reserved and retained by MyFitnessPal. All rights reserved. No idea what that means. We'll continue to read. Our licensee, subject to your compliance with the MyFitnessPal terms, we granted you a limited, revocable, personal, non-transferable, and non-exclusive right as a license to access and use the services of MyFitnessPal content for your own personal, non-commercial purposes, provided that you do not copy, modify, create a derivative work from, reverse engineer, sell, assign, sublicense, grant security interest in, transfer, or otherwise commercially exploit any right in MyFitnessPal content or services. I have no idea what that means. If any other open source third party has code incorporated in the app, such as open source or third party and conferred by the applicable open source or third party license, if any, authorizing use of such code. Of course, I have no idea what code is. Your license to us. When you provide user-generated content to MyFitnessPal through those services, you grant us and our user perpetual, non-exclusive, irrevocable, royalty-free, freely transferable, sufficient, sublicensable, worldwide right and license to use, host, store, cache, copy, reproduce, publish, display, or publicly or other authorized, perform publicly or otherwise, distribute, transmit, modify, adapt, reformat, reorganize, translate, excerpt, exploit, commercially or otherwise, create derivatives, work of, and authorize, process in all media and distribution methods with clone leader development. Such user generation content is connection with any and all services. You acknowledge and agree that we all have the right to arrange the posting of user-generated content in any way we desire. B. We have no obligation to provide you with any credit when you use your user-generated content. And C. You are not entitled to any compensation or other payment for us for connection with the user-generated content. Dun, 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 dun. Notwithstanding the above, we will not make any use of the user-generated content in a manner that is inconsistent with our privacy policy. We'll go over that later because it's in blue. We reserve the right, but do have the obligation to, at any time and at any reason, monitor, review, pre-screen, edit, redact, otherwise modify, reorganize, or recategorize user-generated content from the services, and archive, otherwise store and user-generated content. We also reserve the right to remove, modify, or restrict your access to user-generated content for any reason at any time, including user-generated content we believe violates these terms, the community guidelines, and or our policies. You understand that even after removal of deletion, user-generated content you have provided may remain viewable to and may have been copied or stored by other users and members of the public. You agree that you will respect the intellectual property rights of others by providing user-generated content. You are representing them and warrant that you are creator. You're the creator and owner of the user-generated content, that you otherwise have the legal rights, permissions, and consents necessary to provide the user-generated contents that contemplated by these terms and agreed MyFitnessPal for foregoing license. You also represent and warrant that your user-generated content and other information provided to us does not infringe, misappropriate, or otherwise violate intellectual property rights, privacy rights, or other proprietary rights of the third party. We appreciate feedback, comments, ideas, proposals, not from me, I don't propose, and suggestions for improvements of the services feedback you choose to provide. Feedback is considered to be user-generated content and is subject to the terms above. Next section is premium services.